Hey folks, welcome back. So here on this episode of Tackle Talk, I'm going to show you guys how to make these 1/16 ounce crappie jigs that you can use with your favorite plastics. But we're going to paint them today in a mottled fashion. That's M-O-T-T-L-E-D. You can see here I got some of my favorites on here. These are the white bases with some orange and some couple different color greens, a chartreuse and a darker green, and then pink and white here. Now over here I got a chartreuse base, you can see, with some orange paint on it. This is a pink base with some chartreuse paint modeled on it, pink and white, and then this dark green and orange. So we're going to focus today on this chartreuse and orange here. Everybody knows that crappie loves chartreuse and orange. So there's a few things that you're going to need here. Of course we're going to be using these we're going to be using 1/16 ounce jig heads. You can use them with or without a collar, is entirely up to you. I prefer both because I like to tie some marabou jigs for these things too, as well as use soft plastics. So it's entirely up to you on what type you'd like to use or size or anything, but you're just going to have to get yourself some plain jig heads. And then you're going to have to get some powder paint from Pro-Tec. This is an older container of it. It comes with instructions on the side on what to do, especially after, and how to cure it and everything. This here is green chartreuse, and we're going to be using a modeling on it in blaze orange. Now these are the new containers here. These are the older containers, so I've had this for quite a while. This stuff lasts a long time. But yeah, let me show you how to do this here. Another thing you're going to need is you're going to need a fire source. Something to heat that with. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to light this candle right now because I really like using a candle because I don't have to worry about anything. So we're going to set that off to the side. Now you'll also need to get yourself a couple coffee stirrers. I bought 1,000,001 of these for a few bucks off Amazon. I'll leave the link in the description for all this stuff here that I'm going to use today. You're also going to need a couple toothpicks. And, of course, Hemos. I like to use the Hemos when it comes down to doing this kind of work. So I'm just going to remove the caps off of my paint here and set them off to the side. So when you're setting up your paint here, you just want to make sure that you have them nice and fluffy. So like I said, the toothpicks I just use here, and I just stir this paint in here just to make sure it's nice and fluffy. And it's coming towards the edge a little bit, almost the same way if you checked out my other videos on almost the same exact way as I use my UV resin. And once again, I'm going to stir up this orange, get it near the edge just to make sure it's nice and fluffy. Okay, then you're going to take your 1/16 ounce jig head or whatever size you choose, put it in your Hemos there. Now the trick here is making sure that you don't scorch this jig head, that you don't put this powdered, charred carbon layer on it. So I like to heat it up above the flame, just about an inch above it, for this initial set into your main color, because you don't want it to be too hot. And then you're just going to swipe it back and forth a couple times, knock off any excess. If it still has a grainy texture, that's okay. Because what you're going to do here is you're going to hold it back over the flame, and you're going to hold it over a couple inches over that flame just to make sure that you can get that paint melted on there. When you see it start to glossen up, you just keep it moving around. Like I said, one of the biggest keys is making sure that you don't get that eyelet covered up with paint, because it's a bear to pick off. So once you see that paint start to glossing up, if it did get a little bit of a powdery, grainy texture on it, you just bring it right over here to your orange, and you're just getting just a little bit on the tip of that, and then you're just going to tap it, and you're just dripping, sorry, not dripping, you're tapping and letting that paint fall. I try not to use too much at once. You don't want to get too much on your stir, so it's better to start with a little bit and add as you go around versus dropping a humongous clump on there. Then you totally change the color of your jig and everything. You're just trying to add a little accent color to this, and that's about it. Then I hold it back over my flame here, a couple inches above it, just to get that other paint, the mottled color, that orange, just to get it to melt onto there and kind of blend in with this chartreuse. It's a nice, easy process. And then once it's done, you just hold it outside the flame and let it dry. Okay, folks, well, there you go. There's the chartreuse and orange mottled crappie jig head. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like, share this video, comment. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about these things. But these are really some cool jigs to make. And they work. They're effective. So, see you next time. Tight lines, everyone, and good luck.